You're welcome again to Conversations with God. I am Pastor Paul Olashere. Now, I want you to follow this story. Imagine you are at a filling station and you went to buy petrol and you just finished buying petrol and somebody just knocked on your window and you notice he had walked out of a Range Rover or maybe a Bentley or maybe a Bugatti. And the person said, "Excuse me, I need to fill my tank. And I just realized now that I forgot my wallet and my card case at home. Please, I don't mind paying you triple whatever it is. I need to get somewhere now and I need to fill my tank. Can you help me out?" Now, because you know he came out of the kind of car he came out of, because you saw the way he's dressed, very good, very decent, and the way he approached you politely, it is easy for you to say, "Okay, I have an extra 20,000 here. Would that be okay for you?" And the man says, "Okay." But take it another way. Imagine the person that approached you was looking a little bit tattered. He came out of a car that was broken. The doors were not closing well, and his shirt was so dirty, and then his beards were not kept. And he comes to you and says, "Excuse me, I want to buy fuel. I forgot my wallet at home. I don't know whether you can just give me just about 5,000. I'll collect your details. I'll make sure I wire the money to you." It's going to be a little bit difficult for you to believe that person and to give him that money. The same goes with faith. It is almost impossible to believe the promise of someone whose ability you don't know and whose personality you don't know, whose character you don't know. The same goes with when it comes to believing God. A lot of times when we say, "Oh, do you believe God?" People say, "Yes, I believe God. It's God." "Yes, it's God." But you see, sometimes when the situation delays a little bit, they give up. They throw in the towel, they go on. They say, "Well, maybe God doesn't want to do it. Or maybe it's not His will. Or maybe it's not His time." It's because you're not sure of His character. You're not certain of His character. That's why you're having doubt. And some people will just say, "Oh, just forget it. God cannot do that. Oh, no, just forget it." Why? Because you don't know His ability. And that is why if you want your faith to be strong, I say it, you have to read the Bible with the focus of wanting to know about the God that the people that wrote the Bible met. They met God. They experienced Him. And then they wrote about the God they experienced. When you want to read their account to want to know the God they met. Yes, while you're reading it, you'll find promises. While you're reading it, you'll find instructions, you'll find status, laws, and all of that. But those should not be your primary focus. They should be part of the things you receive, but they should not be your primary focus. Your primary focus should be to want to know the God that they met. The reason is this: when you focus on knowing the God they met, you will be receiving the revelation of the God they met. You will see the ability of the God they met. And then it will help your faith to be able to believe in the ability of God to do all things. So even when there are delays, you can wait because you are sure that He has the ability to do it. And when you read the account and you read about the faithfulness of the God they met, the consistency of the God they met, that His character is constant, His integrity is unshakable, then it helps you to hold on firm even when things look like they are falling apart, because you know He will not do wickedly. He will not do unrighteousness. He will not walk evil. He will always do good. Faith is only in the person's ability and the person's character. And it is at that point that you can now hold on to the promise of that person. If you know my ability and you know that I can do a check for you for 10 billion naira and you will get it, and you know that my character is such that when I give a promise, I don't go back. If I give you a check, you will be. In fact, if it's a weekend, you can go and borrow 200 million on that check. Why? Because you are sure that I have the ability to deliver. But if you don't know my ability, if you're not sure I can deliver 2 billion, if you're not sure, you're not certain, it will be difficult for you to even go and borrow 1 million naira on that 2 billion naira check. Why? Because you're not sure of my ability. When you read the Bible to find out who God is, you will be reading about His ability. No wonder David said in Psalm 119, verse 99. He said, I have more understanding than my teachers, because your testimonies, what testimonies? The testimonies of God's act, God's abilities, all right, God's power. He said, the testimonies, your testimonies are my meditation. When you read about his ability, it increases your faith in his ability. When you read about his personality, his character, his integrity, it increases your faith in his integrity. Then when you now get a promise from him, you know that promise cannot fail. Faith in God is faith in his person and his ability. You must have faith. Find out more by reading the word. See you again on Conversations with God. Shalom. Every day, he wants to talk to you. He wants to fellowship with you. He wants to have discussions with you. He's looking for that. Someone said sometimes, he said, God is not a talkative. I said, you have not met him. When you meet him, you might have heard about him. You might have experienced his hand in miracles, wonders done in your life. But if you have really met him, you will know he talks.